Alright, so if you've gone searching for these shaft seals for these first Gen Viragos, these are the Hitachi carbs, they actually have an odd size shaft seal. The OD is 11.5 millimeter, the ID is 8 millimeter, and then they're about 3 millimeters thick. So you can go look, and you're probably not going to find them anywhere because I couldn't find them. But I found a comparable shaft seal. It's just a little bit too big on the OD. Now here is a couple of little black ones, and you can see how small they are. If I can get them in the camera there, compared to what the right size would be. These are like Makuni ones and some others, but they're not the right size on the OD. So we're going to get set up here because we can't find them anymore, and we need to have these for the carburetors because they block off the air coming in through the shafts. We're going to set up, we're going to make some. That way folks can have some to rebuild these carbs, and I can also have some myself for rebuilding my own carbs. So let's zoom over here and look at the little lathe, and we'll see what the setup is. Alright, so we actually don't have a lot of work to do. All we got to do basically is get the diameter, the OD of the little seal turned down. But in order to do that, number one, you got to find the right seal. So these little green seals, they come from France because they're the right rubber and they have the right lip on the seal, and they're not metal inserted on the outside. So they can actually be ground down a little bit. But if you try to cut a seal, all you got to do is mess up the surface. So what you got to do is get you a die grinder with a high-speed grinding bit on the end of it, and we got to set it up in the lathe here, get it all set up. One big thing to note is that when you're pinching down, because like right here I'm squeezing down on it to hold them in place so I can grind them. When you're squeezing down, you can't squeeze very hard, and you have to squeeze very consistently. So what I got is a live center there, and I adjust it in so that when it rotates, you can see the live center just barely turns. That way it's not squishing down on the shaft seal and making it bulgy, so then it'll grind too much off. So the setup is kind of delicate. You got to go through and make sure you got everything just right, but it's really easy once you get it set up. So there's how you do it, with a lathe and a die grinder and a little bit of setup on some tooling with a live center. So let's get set up here. We'll grind one real quick, then we'll go through our bag and keep grinding them so folks can have these if they need to change out their shaft seals. Alright, so let's grind a couple of them just to show here. So they're set up on here. We got them pinched in, just a little bit of tension on our live center. So all we do is turn the lathe on, and then we turn our die grinder on. And there you go, 2 precision ground OD shaft seals using our high-speed little die grinder right there. So we'll take them over to the table and measure them, and then I'll show you how they fit in the little piece of the carburetor. Alright, so after a little bit of grinding, you can see right there, there's the surface on it, and it looks really good, nice and smooth. So we just got to make sure, and we'll verify each one as I make them. So I got my caliper set up just a little bit above 11.5 because they're a little squishy, and I want to make sure that it just fits. So as you can see, it's just a little bit loose right inside of there. I went down to a 11.5. You can see that it would hold in there. Boop, boop, boop. Let me go down. Get it right to 11.5. And you can see that it'll stay in there. So we are right on spec. So now we got these little guys, and all you would do is put a little bit of soapy bubbles, like detergent or something, on there. Remember that the seal goes out, and so this is a piece of the carburetor that I used to test them. And you just put the little guy in there with the soapy bubbles, squish him in there, and bam, you're done. Now you got good shaft seals for your first gen Hitachis. Well, alrighty, I'll put these guys out on eBay if anybody's interested in getting some, since you can't find them anymore. And thanks for watching.